So we're going to start with Jonathan the tortoise, who is one of the most famous animals on this list because he is, as of when we're recording this, still alive. He offers a link back through time to a lot of events we have talked about on the show over the years. He's the oldest living land animal that we know of, and as of January 2022, also considered the oldest tortoise in history again that we know of.
Yeah, it's not like they're submitting their birth certificates or records to anyone. So there could be an older one out there that just hasn't been like, hello, I too saw the war. Jonathan's hatch date is reported as somewhere around 1832, although veterinarian Joe Hollins, who is his caretaker, has told news outlets that he thinks Jonathan could be even older. And the head of tourism for the island of St. Helena, which is where he lives, that man is Matt Joshua, and he told CNN in 2022, quote, Jonathan could actually be 200 because the information regarding his arrival on the island is not exact and because there's no real record of his birth. So that hatch date of 1832 is a calculated guess based on when Jonathan first appears in the historical record, at which point he was already an adult, which would mean that he was at least 50 years old already.
That appearance in the historical record is the moment that Jonathan, who had been captured in the Seychelles Island, which is where his species, the Seychelles giant tortoise, is native, so that moment when he was captured and brought to the home of Sir William Grey Wilson as a gift. That happened in 1882, so that 1832 date is just the result of subtracting 50 years from the date that the tortoise showed up as a gift. The record that denotes Jonathan's arrival is not any kind of official paperwork. It's just a letter that mentions him. There's also a photograph that shows Jonathan alongside several humans that was taken sometime between 1882 and 1886. And it's clear in that photograph that the tortoise is full grown. So there's some additional supporting evidence here, not just the letter.
Yeah, we didn't say so, but William Grey Wilson was the governor of St. Helena at the time. And there's been some confusion and debate over the years over Jonathan's exact age. Throughout the mid-20th century, there were a number of press mentions of a historic tortoise on St. Helena that made an interesting boast. So one of these I found in the Jersey Journal, which was tagged as a dispatch from St. Helena Island, and it read, quote, a giant land tortoise in the gardens of Government House here is said to be the only creature alive that set eyes on Napoleon. The great general paced the paths of the gardens when in exile. Napoleon Bonaparte was exiled on St. Helena. It is the second place he was exiled, and it was where he died. In 1821. So that is more than a decade before Jonathan is believed to have even been born. And it's more than 60 years before Jonathan arrived on St. Helena. So it appears this is a case of a giant tortoise who was there. Jonathan is not the only one that's been a gift over the years. For a while, it was kind of trendy to give giant tortoises as gifts. But it appears that there was one that was there when Napoleon was, that is getting conflated, or was at the time, with Jonathan's story.
A lot of newspapers reported this error as fact, although some of them seem kind of tongue-in-cheek about it, like the Daily Times of Davenport, Iowa, which reported on the tortoise in a small blurb under the headline, Unique Distinction, in 1947. That write-up reads, quote, according to a newspaper item, there is a tortoise at St. Helena who probably saw Napoleon, and, I might surmise, is the only one who hasn't written a book about it.